Alright guys, sex with me is like George Clooney.
Sex with me is like George Clooney. It's always with somebody much, much younger.
Sex with me is like George Clooney. I just got married, so apparently the rumors of me being gay are not true.
Sex with me is like sex with George Clooney. It's out of sight.
Sex with me is like sex with George Clooney. It's old.
Sex with me is like sex with George Clooney. It's going to be so good it's going to affect your descendants.
Oh, let's do iron.
Sex with me is like an iron. It's steamy.
Sex with me is like an iron. You're gonna lie to your doctor about how it happened.
Sex with me is like an iron. An iron. There's going to be a brand involved.
Sex with me is like an iron. Your pants are gonna be hot.
Sex with me is like iron. It involves many men deep underground.
Sex with me is like an iron. If you're not careful, you end up with creases in very strange places.
The Civil War.
Sex with me is like the Civil War. We're definitely gonna go down south.
Sex with me is like a civil war. There's a little round top.
Sex with me is like the Civil War. You're gonna need reconstruction afterwards.
Sex with me is like the Civil War. People dress up and reenact it all the time.
Sex with me is like the Civil War. They'll probably be men asses.
Sex with me is like the Civil War. You'll earn a grant.
Marilyn Monroe.
Sex with me is like Marilyn Monroe. Some like it hot.
Sex with me is like Marilyn Monroe. The president's gonna kill you afterwards.
Sex with me is like Marilyn Monroe. It's going to be done in the Oval Office.
Sex with me is like Marilyn Monroe.
Sex with me is like Marilyn Monroe. There will be drugs involved.
The kitchen sink.
Sex with me is like the kitchen sink. Everything's going to go down the drain.
Sex with me is like the kitchen sink. I have everything but it.
Sex with me is like the kitchen sink. When you turn me on, I'm just gonna pour out.
Sex with me is like the kitchen sink. I'm going to put the stopper in and fill you with water.
I want to try that.
I know. Sex with me is like the kitchen sink. There's a plug involved.
Spatula.
Sex with me is like a spatula. I'm gonna flip you for breakfast.
Sex with me is like a spatula. A lot of time, I'm gonna be in your drawers.
Sex with me is like a spatula. There's licking.
Sex with me is like a spatula. It's probably in Gio's kitchen sink.
Sex with me is like a spatula. Saturday Night Live is gonna do a skit about it.
Finish with World Cup.
Sex with me is like the World Cup. A bunch of guys are gonna be chasing my balls around.
Sex with me is like the World Cup. There's going to be a lot of kicking.
Sex with me is like the World Cup. It only happens for 2 weeks every 4 years.
Sex with me is like the World Cup. People pretend to be injured.
Sex with me is like the World Cup. You put it in the wrong hole, you get shot.
All right, let's do that.